So I decided to make get all that manifestation a shot because I've heard some things and I'm listening to Reverend Ike. If you don't know who Reverend Ike is, I'm gonna invite you to see the his videos. He's very powerful. Now his perspective is usually from the Bible. I'm not much of a Bible guy. I'm not much of a religious or spiritual guy because I have my own perspective regarding those things. Yet the way he puts it, it kind of makes sense. I like when he talks, and I like the things he says. And most of it is about knowing who you are and knowing how capable you are of doing those things. Now, I'm very straight with the fact that I've grown up thinking that those things aren't possible, even though in my life I've been able to do things like that. But now at this stage in my life, I say, let me just give it a shot since I've been living my life thinking that it's not possible. I want to think that it's possible now, just for the fuck of it. you know, let me just think otherwise, like I always say, and let me just give it a shot to see if it's possible to manifest like that. Is gonna be interesting because a lot of people, when I tell things that I've done, that oh, but you can manifest. Maybe, maybe. If if you've been in Mexico City, you know Mexico City is a very hectic city. A lot of people, lots of people, and to find a an empty train in the metro is almost impossible because it's just way too many people. And I was there the other day and I was like, okay, I don't want to be standing in the metro because it's just way too many people and I don't like riding the metro in Mexico. So I said, I'm going to manifest this. Let me just see how that works. Literally, like I said, it wasn't like totally empty, but it was very, very comfortable where I sat all the way to where I was going to go. So I'm like, yeah, right. And then I think maybe that doubting myself is the issue. Where we do things and then we just doubt that we are capable of doing those things. So I did it again and it worked again. And I did it in a few more things. And I'm like, oh shit, this thing works. So I say, let me just give it a shot. Let me see if it's possible. I went to this one lady there in Mexico City. No, I'm not Mexican, but I go there a lot for work. And she does a lot of spirituality things that she, like when people die and stuff, you go to her and she teaches you a whole lot of interesting things. I can't remember the name of it right now. Get back to you with the name. But I went to her and she's very perceptive. She told me some things that I'm like, oh, I can see that you're very perceptive. But coming out of that, I had this sensation that I wanted to cry. And it wasn't until I got to what I was saying, to the Airbnb I was saying, that I started bawling, but crying like I've never cried before. And I went to her because, my mom passed a few months ago, like 4 months ago. And I cried, but, I couldn't really cry the way I wanted because situations. So after going to her, I don't know what the hell she did. I mean, she did the sounding bowl thing, and she did some angel bells of some stuff like that, and some fire. She cleansed me with fire. It was very interesting, and she's like, you eat some chocolate." I'm like, sure, I like chocolate, so and I had some chocolate. And then when I went back to my place, I started crying like I never cried before. But then afterwards, no, what's interesting, I'm forgetting this. What's interesting is when I was coming out, when I was coming into the apartment, there was some sort of mist in the air, and I wasn't alone. The person that was with me, I was like, what happened? Is something, we left something on the stove or something? And she was like, no. She's like, don't you see the smoke? She said, I don't see anything. What do you see? And I saw like there was smoke in the apartment. I found that very interesting and strange. So what happened is that after that, I felt so at peace. It felt so good that I'm like, you know what? Maybe, and just maybe, I give it a shot at manifesting. So the following day, I did something. I can't remember what it was, and it manifested. And then I went back to, nah, that's not possible. It's just coincidence, maybe. That whole manifesting thing, nah, it's just BS. So I've gone back and forth for a little bit with that. But listening to Reverend Ike yesterday, I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna give this manifesting thing a shot, because I don't have anything to lose. Matter of fact, if I get to manifest, it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna do it. And the first thing to manifest is gonna be, let's just manifest $2,000, and let's do it in the next 15 days from today. Today's what, the 27th, February 27th. So manifesting $2,000 in 15 days. And when I say manifesting, it's actually like the money coming to me, not like I'm asking somebody for the money or I worked for the money, and nothing like that. But the money coming in the mail or for some sort of way that I haven't planned. And I want to see what's going to happen with that. And if it happens, it's going to be great. And I'm going to share all those things with you too, because I'm not much of a manifesting guy. And I'm not much of a spirituality guy neither. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, I'm spiritual, whatever. I don't know what that is. And I always say that in every video. I don't know what spirituality is. Neither do you. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, the day before, whatever. And I was telling her, we're not thinkers, we're repeaters. And she's like, oh my God, right, yeah. And it's not like, yeah, of course I'm right, but we are repeaters. We just repeat everything we've learned. We don't think necessarily. We just repeat things, and we just go and repeating things, and people repeat things that they hear, and it makes sense to them. And I said, I don't understand how that thing makes sense, because I think I tend to question everything, and I'm gonna invite you to do that too. Question everything, even the things I'm telling you right now, because when you become a critical thinker, then everything changes. Everything changes. And because I'm a critical thinker, I'm doing that manifesting thing with a different perspective. I'm asking myself things. I'm doing it like an experiment. I'm not just believing that I can do that, or I'm just gonna do like what Reverend Ike says. I'm gonna have the conviction that I'm that thing, that I am Jesus-like, understanding that Jesus, was a manifester. I don't even know if Jesus existed. That's a whole nother thing. But let's pretend he did, and he was able to heal people. I know people that have healed other people. So that's not, nothing magical. It happens. Yes. And because that happens, then, I think there's something to it. And in another video I made, is I was talking about Jesus and the bread and the fish, when he multiplied the fish and the bread. And I said, man, the dude knew who he was. He had 100% conviction of who he was. So I'm gonna practice that. I'm gonna practice being that person, being that man that have that conviction of who he is, to the point that I can manifest. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know what's gonna come out of that, but I'm open to see the results, because I'm more of a, just accept things the way they are, because it's easier to be at peace with yourself when you just accept things. But in this case, I'm gonna give it a shot, and I hope I've been wrong all this time, and this thing works. Because if it does, then I'll tell you what I did, exactly what I did, because maybe it will help you too. I was gonna talk to you outside in the park, but boy, it's a little a little chilly outside. I thought it was gonna be a little warmer, but it got cloudy, and I'm like, no, I just got a sweater on. I don't want to be outside like this. It's a little too cold. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun trying this. I hope that it's a commitment. Yeah, I'm committing myself to do this. So my first step is gonna be just the trusting part, the knowing part, the conviction part. And matter of fact, I'm gonna do it like this. It's gonna be $2,000, and I'm gonna do visualization and stuff for the $2,000. Visualization and meditation and all those fun things. And the feeling that I have, the $2,000. And then I'm gonna have another thing to manifest. It's gonna be $5,000. And for the $5,000, I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just gonna say, okay, like Jesus said, thank you, Father. That's it. And just leave it at that. So I'm gonna compare one with the other to see which one worked and which one didn't. And I'm gonna take notes, and I'm gonna come back to you and talk to you about what made sense and what didn't make sense, and what my process was, because I'm very interested in knowing too. So I don't know. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. At least one thing that I can learn from doing this is gonna be the trust in myself. I guess if it doesn't work, at least I'm gonna learn how to do that. I don't know. It's a little weird to talk about this. A little funny, because I've heard my mom all my life talk about me as if I have some sort of power. My mom knew about. She was a little witch, and she said that I was born with something. And I've said in other videos too that of my experiences and my experiences with spirit and the shaman and all that stuff. And I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but maybe it does. Up to this point, I haven't done anything with it. So now is the time. Let's see what's gonna happen. So wish me luck. I'm gonna keep coming here and let you know how things go. All right. See ya.